It is the Riot Podcast, Tuesday, February 8th edition. Good day to everyone.
Good hello.
Good hello to you. Good day, Isaiah.
Howdy.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Isaiah.
Dude, you must be new to the podcast then,
I
guys.
know, right?
Well, if you are, welcome. I mean, new listeners all the time. So thank you for joining us and giving us some time for your day today.
Yeah, of course. What do we got today, Isaiah?
So today on the podcast, we discuss yet again why you just can't trust a nun.
I feel so bad, but then I think I even mentioned it in there. Like if this was some guy like our age who was embezzling and stealing.
A 40-year-old meatball.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, like
Not even a
gambling
story.
almost $1 million. You'd be like, that's it, to jail he goes. But because it's a nun and it's some like 80-year-old, you feel bad that she didn't have any help.
You think...
or she was just like, she doesn't think it's wrong.
She's playing the innocent cards. What's
Yeah.
happening there?
You think that that's part of why, like it says that she did this over the course of 10 years.
Yeah.
You think that's part of why she was able to get away with it for so
Because she
long
was
is
a nun?
because nobody would suspect.
Oh, yeah, for
it
sure.
wouldn't be Sister Mary Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
Could never. She would
No.
never.
Well, also, a lot of people who embezzle or steal money, they're the ones in charge of the money.
Right.
So no one finds out because you think that person is being honest with it.
Right. It's just like, why are we doing so many fundraisers?
Yeah. What's this? What's all this? So it's sad, but yet she did wrong, so she's going to jail.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also touched on our pets a little bit during today's podcast. We talked about how you should, in fact, be picking up your dog's poop.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you should also be taking your dogs on walks. Do we do these things all the time? No.
Can we just stop telling us what to do on this show?
I know, exactly. Like we can't even say to you guys like, yes, take your dog on a walk because we don't even do it.
I know.
Yeah,
I do love looking outside when you see people walking around the neighborhood and their dog like poops near your yard, and they always like you're looking around like, do I have to clean it up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Noticing. You're like, come on, dude, get it.
We've covered it on the show before when I would never leave my dog's poop just behind unless I'm completely out of bags, which I
and
now
then you go
know.
back sometimes. Later.
Yeah, right. I've tried to go back actually before, and I think one time I went back, but it was not quick enough, and so they must have seen me and went out and picked it up themselves, and then
That's
I
the
felt really
worst.
bad. Yeah,
You go back out, hands raised. You're like, I was coming.
right.
I was gonna pick it up,
Leave
I
a note
swear.
or something.
Yeah.
But when I'm out on a walk, I'm always looking for, does somebody leave their trash can out?
Oh, to throw it away.
Yeah, and I know apparently some people don't like that either. But you know what you don't like more? Me leaving my dog's poop in your
Oh,
yard.
yeah.
So there's two choices because I would like to not carry it.
Well, get ready for some more dog stories about what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, we talked a lot
and
about that.
Not right.
Yeah, we also talked about some high-tech toilet paper, which I think seemed pretty interesting.
Now, it's not the toilet paper, it's the roll that you
holder,
put
the holder.
for
Yeah.
it.
Tells you how much you're actually using, and would you consider yourself? Because I would say I'm an underuser. Like I don't think.
You
What?
don't use as much toilet paper?
No, I'd say I
So
use.
you're not getting clean?
No.
Why do you jump to that?
I think.
What else under could there be?
No, I am not. I'm not saying I don't get clean, but I am not. Some people will just be swinging it. Like
Sure.
it's just rolling off,
yeah.
and they'll just clump it
They
up.
take fistfuls.
Oh yeah. For me, I feel like I use the exact amount that I need.
Yeah.
And no more.
That's not underuser. That's appropriate user.
Yeah, like a
compared
good.
to
You're
the
a frugal
free
user.
for
I'm a frugal
alls.
user.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say that you're the same?
I'm pretty frugal. Especially, this is bad to say. I'll admit it. I probably am a little more free with the toilet paper use at work than I am at home.
Oh, cool. Oh man.
Oh, we should have brought that up.
Yes. At work, Hutchin's like, well, maybe another.
I mean, I'm not paying for it, so let me get a real
another.
nice good one
That's
in
a
here.
heart condition right there.
I know.
Man. That's bad.
Another.
You're only frugal at home.
Yes. But then once he comes into the office, all of a sudden,
I don't think
no
I'm.
wonder we're sprinting through toilet paper.
I don't think I'm wasteful. Oh, but you know what though?
You save it.
Listen-
You only go to the bathroom like real bad here.
You know what though? Here at work, we have actually good toilet paper. So I'll say like it's not like I have to alter my uses as much. But if you, like, let's say you have to use the bathroom in public, and every public bathroom
It's
has
bad
what?
and thin.
Half
Tissue
applied.
paper.
Yeah.
Right. And so then I'll just be like, you think you can cut costs? And I'll, like, use more than I need to.
Oh, my
Out of
gosh.
spite. I'll put the end of the roll into the toilet and just flush and just be like, watch this. That'll show you.
You know,
Start
that
using
means-
actual toilet paper we can actually wipe with.
I think everybody thinks about toilet paper more often than we realize because
I
some
know.
of this is personal.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, so that was an interesting one for me that got me thinking. I'm also a folder, so I do keep it.
Oh, yeah.
I have to fold.
Even
that
if
way.
it's too, or really cushiony, you still gotta fold it over to make it like 5-ply, 6-ply.
You have to fold.
Yeah,
So we talked about
sure.
that. We also touched a little bit on some Oscar nominations as well as some of the Razzies as well.
Are you gonna catch up on? Because Nikki's just said she's not watching any of the Oscar
Hudson,
movies.
I don't know, Isaiah, if you knew this, but Hudson will try to watch all the main movie nominations.
Yeah, I tried.
That's 10 movies, man. And 10,
lot.
And that's not even.
Not even
boring.
it's not even movies I would choose to watch, in my free time.
Oh, I see.
I
You
will
just
not
hate
be.
film.
I will
You
not be
hate
doing
film.
that.
We're not hating it. We know better than that.
I just have to think.
Unless there's explosions and superheroes.
And
I just value my time more than watching these movies that I probably won't like. I have other things to do. I need to hang out, take a nap, do other things, eat some food.
not take your
walk our
dog on
dogs.
walks.
Yeah, exactly. Chill out.
Use the toilet paper.
Get on TikTok.
Well, if anybody else plans on going through any of the Oscar nominations, definitely include Hudson in
Yeah.
your.
If anybody wants to be my Oscar buddy,
through that.
because nobody here wants to.
No, gosh.
All they want is
Gosh, that
explosions and
list
fast
looked
cars
awful.
and football games, and they don't want to feel.
The finer things in life, I'm not all about. I'm okay without seeing.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. As always, don't forget to text us and say hi if there's something you want to respond to in the podcast
there's a
today.
lot to respond to.
You are welcome to text us at 877-2-RADIO-U and just put that as for the Riot Podcast.
And then we'll catch you next time.
We will.
See you
Have a good
guys.
day.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Mary Maggart Kruper.
Yeah.
She's 80 years old. She was a nun.
Did she pass away?
No, she's still
Okay.
alive.
Okay,
still alive. It's not that sad of a story.
I know, but listen, when you're talking about an 80-year-old, you have to really set the scene quickly.
I guess I did say she was a nun, but she is 80 years old
Okay.
currently.
All signs on your wording
She
were that she's no longer with us.
She continues to be 80 years old.
Okay, she's alive.
But that said, she was formerly a nun. Actually, I don't know. Does this stop you from being a nun? She was not just a nun. She was also the principal at St. James Catholic School in how do you say that? Torrance, California?
Yeah, Torrance.
Torrance, California. Now, she was the principal. And again, I don't know. Does this stop you from being a nun?
Are you once a nun, always a nun?
Yeah. Like, who decides? Is it God? I don't know. But she... What?
I just love hearing this. Lord,
here's
how
why
does that work?
Here's where she might have lost her nunship. She pleaded guilty in July to 1 count each of wire fraud and money laundering.
Uh-oh. How much did she get?
Stole more than $800,000. So you're getting close to $1 million right there. $1 million. She was doing it to pay for a gambling habit.
Okay.
This wasn't all an elaborate setup to do a nun pun. Yeah, no. She actually had a gambling habit. I guess at that point you might call it a gambling addiction.
So a habit, isn't that like the hat wear that they wear?
I think. I'm not that familiar with nuns, but I think it is.
Well, that's a lot of money. Oh, yeah, she had an addiction at that point.
Yeah, but over $800,000, and so now after pleading guilty to again wire fraud and money laundering, 1 count each, she will now face, it looks like, a year in prison.
Oh,
yeah, a year in federal prison. 80 years old.
She did wrong.
Yeah.
So there was a plea agreement. She's now retired as the elementary school principal. So she also embezzled like donations, tuition, fee money and stuff. And then she diverted money to pay for personal expenses. That was like credit card charges, gambling expenses, casino stuff. So
not good.
Oh man, she had a problem.
Yeah, that is not good. She did. It was over the course of, it looks like, 10 years, from 2008 to 2018. And she's...
Man, though, if this was like someone younger, you'd be like, put him in jail.
Right.
They
Yeah,
stole
you're
a lot
like,
of
be a
money.
few years, but she's 80 years old.
What is an 80-year-old ex-nun? And you're like, oh, no.
I wonder at what point, again, it's just too tempting to even say. I wonder when she kicked the habit, like, did she actually...
Well, a lot of times you don't. You just get found out.
Right. And so that's what I'm wondering. Like, does she still I don't know, like
gamble.
Yeah, well, probably not from prison. Maybe she's gambling with her life. I don't know.
She's also been ordered to pay back the school about $835,000.
Where's she going to get that from? She
At
lost
that
it all.
age, she doesn't even work anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, you have to treat people fairly.
No,
right?
that would cause you to want to go gamble again to get the money
that's
to
right.
pay it off. So that's a mess.
That's 100% the mindset of a gambler.
Sure.
Like, I gotta. Just one big hit, I'll get the $800,000 back. It's got to happen sometime.
Well, she got found out and she is in trouble.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. Radio U.
Let's head down to Australia. Sydney, Australia, where we have a woman, Alyssa Lambert. She's 25.
Yeah.
And she spotted in her bedroom a spider.
Not surprising if you're saying Australia then, because, man, they have them and they're just a whole different level than ours.
But the story, you might expect that, it was a giant spider and it could have killed her or something. And
sure.
We don't know that. I don't know what kind of spider it was. But that's not actually the way the story goes. The spider was up above somewhere, up high. And so she goes onto her bed and, of course, wants to. She does. This is what's sad to me. She doesn't want to save the spider. She doesn't want to set the spider free and give it a new life.
Have you seen the size of those spiders?
Well, but she's 25 years old. She's lived in Sydney. She must be used to it.
Do you know
right?
Have you seen is it the Huntsman ones?
Oh, crazy.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
And they're just like normal house spiders.
But you should treat them just as if, just like the little tiny ones.
You know what? You're
Give
saying
them a
that.
new life.
Listen, you're saying that from your radio studio in America because we don't have them here. And we very rarely get bugs of that size.
Well,
it'd be a different story if you were in Australia in your bedroom.
If I was in Australia, I wouldn't be trying to kill it or set it free. I'd be running away. But
completely moving away.
She decided that she was going to not give the spider, maybe give it a new afterlife. She was going to kill the spider. So she does. She uses some bug spray, which she just happens to have laying around, probably because it's Australia.
Sure.
So you need to be safe. And so she takes care of the spider. But as I mentioned, she had gone up onto her bed to kill the spider. And so she has, what goes up must come down. She's got to come down from the bed.
Jumps off the bed.
She jumps off the bed. She lands on a high-heeled shoe.
Oh, on the heel part?
And it goes into her foot.
Oh my gosh, the x-ray is crazy.
Yeah, look at the,
wow.
I'm glad, but I do wish that there was a real good photo of the.
Well, they have it wrapped up in the other one, so I don't think you really want to see that.
No, I don't want to see more than that. But she had, how deep did it go into her foot? I believe it says somewhere, like several centimeters into her foot. She had 4.5 centimeters of high heel
in her foot,
inside her foot. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it didn't come out the other side.
Well, she's saying that she's healing well. It just takes time. Okay, the other healing, not that one. But she says she can start walking next week. Wow, it is so bad looking, and that must have felt terrible.
Fortunately, no bone damage. The doctors say. This is one of my big fears. Is getting impaled by something.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think the chances are low, but never say never.
Well, I'm not going to jump off a bed. I don't have any high heels.
You should be okay.
And I don't think my wife has any laying around, but you never know what can be down there. So, you're 25. You shouldn't be jumping off of a bed anymore.
I think the shoe's funny because the shoe's like, what? I'm at the foot.
Right.
What do you want me to do?
It's like it had a magnet or something.
Yeah.
It just knew where it belonged.
Wow, that is painful looking. And thankfully, though, she was and will be okay. Just needs a little time to recover.
Yeah.
And I wonder how long she can wear heels again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might get rid of them all after that.
Oh, at that point?
Yeah. But it's not worth it, How good can they really make you look?
Gotta be safe.
Welcome to The Riot, where you listen to us and that's it. It's pretty much a one-way street. The Riot. Radio U.
So Amazon Prime Video, not only are they or have they not spared any expense with their new Lord of the Rings TV series, which we now know is called The Rings of Power. They've spent dollars upon dollars upon dollars on it.
Well, it's the $250 million, which was to get these series rights from Tolkien.
Right.
And then they say now that they spent $465 million on the first season.
The first season alone.
Of the new Amazon Lord of the Rings show.
And
that's
obviously,
so much money.
That's a lot of money. That's like
it's not even movie money.
Most movies don't even have that kind of a budget. So they spent a lot of money, and now they are backing that up by spending a lot of money to promote the show. They are sparing no expense as they plan to air the first teaser trailer for the series that will air during the Super Bowl.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, I guess you are.
But please do not do this. Don't just do some suspenseful music and then have the logo slowly come on out to the front and then call that...
have you seen that already?
That's what they always do.
No, but they already did that.
Well, I don't want another one. I want footage.
See, when they say teaser trailer, that's what makes me think. And I know, again, it was something that I think happened while you might have been away. But Isaiah and I talked about it, and it was they put out that trailer, but it doesn't show anything.
Sure.
It doesn't tell you anything.
Usually teaser trailers are the logo.
If you're a person like me who has, maybe I used to have some familiarity with the Lord of the Rings, and I've left a lot of that behind in my life. So I don't know, unless you know what taking place in the second age and stuff like that means, which I don't, then it really means nothing to you.
Well,
so what are they going to do to draw? It's not going to work because it's not a show for me at all. But what are they going to do to draw in the average Joe that they are going to need to entertain to make the $465 million investment worth it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do hope for the Super Bowl commercial, it just shows some footage.
Yeah, something actually from the show. Now, it's supposed to launch, supposed to debut on September 2nd. I didn't know we had a release date. I just remember them talking about, like, it was going to come out in the fall.
They told that when they showed last week the character photos.
Oh, they have character photos,
They do. They have 23 individual character posters. They release that the same day. Do you remember the Amazon announced that their Prime is going to 100
Oh, yeah. The price is going up.
It was the same day.
Oh, so that was Friday.
It was the same day.
Come on. So
they wanted to distract everybody from the Prime increase.
This is what that Prime increase is. That's to pay this back. Now, I was looking at, Nikki, tell me why almost everybody that's in the series, as far as the cast goes, why do they sound like their actual names of characters in the show?
What are you talking about, Sir Lenny Henry?
Right. That's one of the more normal ones, too. Although he is Sir, but like Tristan Gravel, Maxim Baldry, Nazanin Boniati. Why does it sound like
they are amazing
names? Did they
names.
cast actual, I don't know, what is in Lord of the Rings?
Lord of Ringians?
Did they hobbits? Did they actually find real hobbits to cast in the Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. It's an impressive list of actors and actresses for the cast that of people you probably don't know unless you see their picture.
Yeah, impressive list of names, but yeah, I've not heard of a single person on this list. Morpheed Clark, is that a real name?
Well, he's not lying. Maybe
he or she? We don't even know.
That's true.
Who is Morpheed Clark?
I guess with in the entertainment industry, it could be a fake name.
Yeah, I guess they made it up just to make a. Wow, you seem like you would really fit in with this show. Actually,
we'll hire you.
Did you grow up in living in a what is this
the
thing?
Shire?
Is that where you grew up? See, I can't do Lord of the Rings stuff.
Well, I'll look forward to this trailer on Sunday, and then you're still waiting until September 2nd for the Lord of the Rings show on Amazon.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Good morning, Isaiah. I brought you in here because I already know Nikki's answer. You don't take your dogs on walks, do you?
Now I have a fence.
Yeah. That doesn't mean they don't need some exercise.
They don't.
They need to smell some new smells.
No, it's plenty of space.
But they love to smell the smells that they can smell
They don't know
outside of their own yard.
Honestly, though, because I have 3 dogs, it's too much to walk them, just like for me.
And you can't take just one.
If you take one, pity the poor person who stays at home with the other 2.
Oh, my gosh. I feel you on that.
I'm practically just ready to throw open the door and go walk yourself.
Just go go. Everybody just go.
But yeah, usually Eric's the one who takes them.
Isaiah, do you take Jim the dog, Jim the basset hound? Do you ever take him on just like nice nature walks?
No, it's cold outside, so.
Well, not right now, but just generally.
No, I don't.
So you just
okay,
hook him
fine.
up.
I just hook him up to. I have a little thing in the backyard. I let him run around and be all crazy. I'll take him to the dog park when it's warm outside, but he's a basset hound, low energy.
Yeah,
we're modern dog owners.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're neglectful dog owners.
No, yet again, he's a basset hound. Look up basset hounds. Tell me if he needs exercise. You look that up.
It's not about exercise. It's about fresh air.
We don't need to walk our dogs.
Jim doesn't even like the outdoors.
Getting out of the city and finding new things. A dog has got a sense of adventure. It needs to be able to let that out. Maybe your dogs would behave a little better if you took him out and got him out
So
somewhere.
you're like an everyday dog walker then.
What do you mean every day?
Like you take your dog on a walk every day like you should, right?
And what should?
Yeah, like you should.
I do it sometimes. Do I do it all the time? Do I do it every day? Who can do that? But do I do it enough so that my dog feels like she's getting an experience of the world? She's not just cooped up in one house and one yard for all of her life?
Hey, my dogs sleep in bed.
Jim loves
fine.
the house. He loves the house.
They've morphed into they're hardly dogs at this point.
Fine. If anybody out there has a dog that they like to actually, walk, yeah. This story might be for you, where now we all know about taking your dog for a walk just along the park or on the sidewalk or whatever. Of course, you would not want to be the type of person that doesn't pick up after your dog.
Well, that's why you don't like taking them, though.
But what if you go to a more natural location? What if you're taking your dog more to to an actual nature preserve, say? And you might think this is, all the animals roam free here. They're all going wherever they want, and nobody's picking up after them. Maybe my dog, maybe I don't have to pick up after it either. In fact, maybe my dog going here will actually deliver helpful nutrients to the soil.
Someone did a study on this?
Someone did a study on it. In Ghent, Belgium, they in fact did. We have researchers who did a survey, a study of certain nature reserves there. Over a long period of time. And what they found was if people were allowed to take their dogs and not pick up after them, it actually was harmful to the nature reserve, despite all of the nutrients that the dogs are depositing in the area. The problem is sometimes when they deposit too many nutrients.
Oh, it's too much?
It actually did not help the species and stuff that they wanted to grow in these nature reserves. It did not help them. It just helped some other more competitive species.
Well, they also say it's not just, number two. It's one as well.
Oh, yeah, it's both.
And that's the problem with my dogs, man. They're just like, can you burn my grass more? That's the worst. I hate that part.
If you take them on a walk, they got to mark everywhere. They got to leave a trail for the next dog to find.
Every time anyone comes near my yard, they're like, you have dogs.
Yes.
Which I guess is why I should be walking them, so that's someone else's yard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just putting this out there, not just me, but these researchers, that if you have a dog and you think there are certain areas where maybe you shouldn't pick up after it because it's just nature taking its course.
Well, if it's like the free zone.
Yeah, you're still supposed to pick up after it because it could be harmful still to the environment, which is crazy, right?
Well, no problem here because we don't walk them.
Yeah, exactly. if anything's harmful, like Jim's pee and poop has to be extremely harmful because it smells so strong. It can't even be real.
That just means it's healthy.
Yeah, it has extra nutrients. So I'll tell you, my backyard has to be just nutrified to the max.
Your yard is very fertilized.
Extremely.
Give it a few months and wow, is that a nature preserve back there?
Yeah. Oddly enough, the grass is very, very green or it's very dead. It's one of the two.
So lush.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy dandy fast forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I feel like Isaiah's going to get a complex. As if every time it's dog talk, you bringing him in.
Well, yeah, we got to...
He's so much more than his dog, Jim.
I know that, but it's such a valuable insight that he can provide. But between the three of us, we're almost a whole survey ourselves on dog owners.
That's a good point.
We're 5 dogs deep.
A lot of times we have different opinions. So, it's a whole focus group. Somebody could be listening and learning so much about how to advertise at different types of dog owners.
Well, we are happy to look at this study to base it off our own lives, too, to see how we would do.
So here we have a new survey out of pet owners that says, this is only 400 people that did this survey, but 100 out of those 400 people said they would sacrifice their own life to save their dog.
Aww.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Think about that.
There's 3 of us here.
Would you save your dog's life?
Would any of us sacrifice our life for our dog?
Yes.
You would?
Now
You're
I have
the
3
one?
dogs, so I can only save one.
You can only save one of the 3.
No, I mean, I don't want to go into it. If a situation ever came up, I wouldn't be like, well, here we
Nikki,
go.
give up your kidney to save Cinnamon.
But if there was danger and something was going on, I wouldn't stop myself if I thought there was going to be danger.
Really? Like you
for
jump in
me.
front of a moving car.
To try to
An
pull them away?
18-wheeler.
Well,
It's barreling down at sugar.
I think so. I think I would, because there's like 2 types of people. You know, there's ones in the moment that stand there in shock and they freeze, and there's people that actually do things. And I think that in the moment, I've already ran into the middle of the road to save Jim before, so I feel like I would just do that again.
Oh yeah, weren't you like shoeless? And
Yeah.
I was, I had no
And your
shoes
slippers
on.
and a robe or
I had no
something.
shirt on. I was in my athletic shorts. It was like 27 degrees outside, and I was stopping traffic that couldn't see my short little dog running in the road. Didn't understand why I was in the road, and then I ended up picking him up after he decided to go pee on the side of the road.
I guess too, is there any guilt if you feel like your dog's in danger because of something you did?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
You
That's
gotta
a
go
good point.
save your dog because they got out because we lost one of them.
It sounds like in our study, 2 out of 3 would
don't
sacrifice
be
their
that
life to
guy.
save their dog.
You wouldn't
Hudson.
save your dog,
Not if it is going to cost me my own life.
but you don't know that.
You don't know in the
moment.
moment. You wouldn't give it a good
If
shot.
an 18-wheeler is barreling down
First
on my
off,
dog, or if
hang
a
on.
bullet has been shot, I'm not going to dive in front of it.
Listen.
That's why I have the dog.
Unless someone is moving in your neighborhood, there's a real small chance an 18-wheeler is going to be what takes your dog out.
So what do you think is going to take my dog out that I'm going to need to save her from?
Probably
that would kill me.
a normal car.
A normal car?
Yeah.
I'm not jumping in front of a normal car
See,
either.
when we say like jump, when you say sacrifice, I'm not gonna like jump in front of a bullet that's going towards Jim. I'm not gonna
Okay,
sacrifice
so now it's
my
1
life.
out of 3 riot.
But
dog owners.
But if it comes down to the moment where I have to try to save him, I'm still gonna try to grab him. But I'm not gonna straight up trade life for life. Like if it came down to it, and they're like, you have to give your heart
Sure.
to save Jim. I'm not gonna do that. But in the moment, I'm gonna try to save his life. But I'm not gonna
And it's gonna,
sacrifice my
and
life.
it might be your end.
Well, you know what? If that's the end for me, that's the end for me. I'll do it in heroic action, just like I imagined as
You're a
a
hero.
child.
Yeah, but then Jim's going to be helpless without you.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking with my dog. It's like, I mean, I have my wife, like she could take care of it, but you know,
That's what would keep you from saving your dog.
Zafira's life just wouldn't be the same without
the
me.
one thing that would make me think I should say or
Let her go.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
Well, here's a few other things a part of this study, which don't involve the death of you or your dog. They say 36% say their dog is their closest friend. Let's see. 3 in 5 people believe that your pet is your soulmate. And half of the poll, 46%, spoil your dogs more than an actual person in your life. They say that like cooking a special meal for your dog or spending at least $111 on your dog every month.
Oh my gosh, this sounds like a survey of the people
Dog
that
owners?
Well, no, I was just gonna like this is. It feels convenient. This came out right before Valentine's Day, right? Maybe this is a realization to a lot of people. Like, why do I need to find a date for Valentine's Day when I've got all the date I need? That my soulmate is right here. We'll have our own date.
Not if you're
My
Hudson's
dog and I. No.
Yeah, clearly there's no love there.
No. I love her.
Oh, no, I'm playing
But
this
only
for
so
her.
much, though. Only so much.
She's going to hear that.
Let her hear it. That'll help
Yeah.
her keep her out of any dangerous situations.
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I'm just going to get right into it. You might not know this, everybody, but I haven't always been great with money.
No.
I haven't always had it locked down.
Well, everybody can agree and jump on with that one for
right.
themselves,
Most people
too.
can relate. Even now, some might say I'm still not good with money. I mean, I at least know I'm theoretically what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Do I always do it?
You have good intentions for saving it.
At least I know when I'm doing something wrong that I'm doing it wrong in the moment. You shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway.
Well,
with
again,
money.
don't feel bad because that's everybody.
Yeah, but that's gotten me into some tougher spots in life where you really like, how am I going to pay this thing or that thing or whatever? And somehow I've wound up being able to pay it. And that doesn't just happen with money. You know, I've gotten myself into other sticky situations in life. And what I want to let you know is I've gotten myself into enough tough situations where I've gotten out of them. But I guess I shouldn't say because I know that when I've gotten out of the situations, it wasn't anything that I did where it was like, Hudson, through your, rejiggering your money, you really figured it out and somehow you're able to pay that bill. It wasn't me, anything special I did, any really change a lot of times I made that got me out of the bad situation that I got myself into. It was God, because I've asked God for help. So I guess at the bare minimum, the most I did was say, hey, God, I've done all I think I can do. Can you help? And the truth is that God has helped me, that sometimes you get into spots in life that are your own fault. And there's
we can all be good at that.
Yeah, and
we in those spots.
I mean, we all make mistakes. We all make bad choices. Even if you are good with money, maybe there's something else you do. There's just tough spots you get into, and try as you might, there's not a lot you can do to solve the problem on your own. But with all that said, God sees the problems that you're dealing with, and God cares about you. So when you say, "Hey, God, I'm dealing with this issue, or this issue," God isn't just going to leave you hanging. There might not be a way that you can figure out how to solve that, but God can. God will provide a way for whatever your problem is to be fixed the right way. And it's as easy as asking. That's all you sometimes have to do is just say, hey, God, I need help with this. I don't know what to do. I want you to help me. And God will do that for you. Jesus cares. He loves you and he sees the problems you have. So if you want some help, if you've gotten yourself into some tough situations and you don't have the answers of how to get out, God does. So ask for it. Say, hey, Jesus, I need some help. And start talking to him. Let him talk to you. Let him show you a way out. And he will. If you want to know more, check out RadioU.com/free gift.
Store at room temperature? Now that they can do. The Riot Radio U.
So today is it's a special day. Not only do the Oscar nominations come out, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if everybody else does, but I do. But actually, these came out on Sunday. But with the Oscar nominations, you also get the Razzie Award nominations, right?
The Razzies will be unveiled, the winners, on March 26th. But this is the list of like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, they're the opposite of the Oscars, where they recognize poor performance.
Sometimes people think the Oscars are just as poor performance.
Sometimes. In fact, this year we have at least one nominee that stands a chance to actually show up as a Razzie nominee and an Oscar nominee for the same role in the same movie, which that's pretty wild.
I think that Oscars and Razzies, it's just a good thing if you actually recognize the movie's name.
Yeah, and so the Razzies usually, I was going to point that out, usually I feel that they have some higher profile movies that they want to make fun of for the Razzies. This year with their nominees, which came out again on Sunday night, they don't seem to, like a lot of these, I have no idea what they are. The one that I was referencing of somebody who may be nominated for an Oscar is Jared Leto. He's nominated.
For House of Gucci?
Yeah, for House of Gucci, which I've heard good things about. So he was in the Oscar conversation as well for that role, but he is nominated for Worst Supporting Actor for his role in House of Gucci.
Well,
have you seen the pictures of him, though? I haven't seen the movie yet, but he committed to that role.
He did.
And so if he winds up winning the Razzie, that's really sad for him. He's put so much effort into it. And he winds up getting rewarded with, like, the worst thing.
Well, I don't even know, though, if you're an actor. Like, does this faze you? Or
yeah, they even noticed.
Matter?
But the one that is kind of the most noteworthy is one actor doesn't just get nominated for Worst Actor. He gets his own category of Worst Acting this year.
In the Razzies?
Bruce Willis.
Does he still do movies?
Does he still do movies? Nikki, he put out 8 movies in 2021.
No, he did not.
He did.
No.
He put out 8 movies, and so that led the Razzies to create the category special for this year, Worst Performance by Bruce Willis in a 2021 movie.
I love that he has enough.
So Bruce Willis is going to be coming home with a Razzie on March 26th. See if you've heard of any of these. This is sad. He came out with 8 movies in 2021. American Siege.
No.
Apex.
Nope.
Cosmic Sin.
Nope.
Deadlock.
No.
Fortress.
No.
Midnight in the Switchgrass.
No.
Out of Death.
Still no.
Survive the Game.
No.
I haven't heard of any of those.
Well, I think what's hard is, you had a few bigger releases, but it was just so much quieter this year for movies.
Yeah, sure.
But Solin, the more independent things that did come out, they're fair game for the Razzies.
Yeah, because they didn't have a big box office flop to focus on this year. Some of the other notable, so the nominees for Worst Picture are Diana the Musical. Is that about Princess Diana, do you think?
Maybe.
Probably. What other Dianas are there? Infinite, don't know what that is. Karen, don't know what that is. Space Jam: A New Legacy, and The Woman in the Window.
That's it.
Yeah, so, and
That's the main
you'll be
Razzies.
happy to know, Nikki, LeBron James is up for Worst Actor.
Oh.
Yeah, so you've got a reason to tune in, eh?
No, not really.
To root against LeBron James.
I just didn't like that, and I didn't even see it, but they were just like, here, let's make a commercial, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's just sell you everything.
I still haven't seen the new Space Jam. Another movie that's more noteworthy, getting a lot of attention in the nominees, although they weren't up for Worst Picture, is Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, that's because the one guy in the movie
Looks so old, right?
Looks so old.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be high school.
And they're like, why did he get the role?
Yeah, so there's your Razzies. Not as star-studded as usually. Usually you see a few Adam Sandler and Will Smith things. None of that this year. A bunch of no names: LeBron James, Mark Wahlberg. A few people you've heard of, but not from movies you've heard of, because these weren't just they weren't box office flops. They were lower profile, but still flops, evidently.
They were Razzie contenders.
Yeah, at least they got some kind of award and recognition.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Have you seen this TikTok? It's a woman. She's an Airbnb host. Her name is Michelle.
So she runs the Airbnb?
She runs an Airbnb. And she's sharing messages that she received from one particular guest that stayed in her Airbnb.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sad to see.
Aww.
No.
To the point where you're wondering, is this person messing with the Airbnb host? Because I guess you can, in Airbnb, you can message the person who, the place you're staying at. And so the first message is, hey, is the refrigerator locked? Because I can't get it open, right? And so the host goes, "Have you tried opening the other side?"
Is the door handles on the side of it?
It's one of those fridges where I guess low profile, you might say, where it doesn't have a visible handle. But you try opening it from both sides, don't you? But not the person that was staying there. They also messaged about. They go into a thing about how to turn on the gas on the stove, but it's like it's an electric stovetop.
Yeah.
And they said they would turn it on and it would get red for like 3 seconds and then be off, and the host is like, we'll just turn it up higher. It's still on and it's not gas. They also they get a DoorDash delivery and they say the delivery driver left it on the porch. And
why would they comment on that to the Airbnb host?
She said the guest says, "Did you get it or wherever?" And the host is like, "No." And then the host looks at the security footage. Because the DoorDash driver said they left it on the porch. The guest, is out looking like in the driveway where there's a clear porch where you can see the food. And they must have walked by or didn't realize there was another porch or stuff. I don't know. So all this stuff happened. They're just kind of like, is this guest like having
Pranking?
some kind of issues? Or is it a prank? A lot of people thought. But all this made me think, just going back to the fridge thing, if that was you You wouldn't message the Airbnb person,
Oh,
would you? You would
no,
feel way too dumb, wouldn't you?
No way.
I think I would just not have the fridge for
I
the
just wouldn't
time.
use
Yeah,
it.
right?
If I can't figure out how to open it, then I
I'm
don't
not
deserve
asking.
it.
This,
I don't deserve it.
if I can't figure out how to.
Well, did it
That's a
show
good
like,
point.
is it an older person? It feels like a
you know,
mom.
it's
Yeah,
hard to
that's what I was
tell, but it
thinking.
definitely seems like that. It is hard to tell if you look at the footage because you can only see them kind of off in the distance in the security footage.
Oh, I bet they don't want to show them.
Yeah, they
So there was
probably
no
pointed out to
explanation
you.
on why they were
No,
acting
it
so
doesn't.
weird.
There's no resolution. It's just they sent several strange messages that people could not, that the host could not figure out. Like, why can't you figure this out on your own? It's not some kind of puzzle Airbnb. It's just a regular fridge.
I have found myself on Airbnb TikTok every so often, and everybody at the end just figures like there's certain people that can handle Airbnbs, and then for the rest of them, it's like, no, you got to go back to a hotel. You can't handle being at somebody's house. It's just not going to work out. You need a hotel setup
You're too high maintenance for
with
an
a
Airbnb
front desk
host.
where you can
Yes.
ask them any questions you have. You just can't handle it.
Yeah, I was thinking there was one time my wife and I stayed. It wasn't like a super nice hotel. It was a nicer hotel. We brought some drinks with us, and we were looking for the fridge, and never could find it.
Yeah.
And so we
Did
wound
you
up
ask?
we wound up we're just like, I guess it doesn't have a fridge. So we filled up the bathroom sink with ice and put the drinks in there
What?
so that they would stay cool for when we needed them. And then before we left, as we were cleaning out the room, we opened up like a cabinet under
it
the
was
TV.
in
It was in there. Of course it
That was a
was.
rough one. That was a rough
Dude,
one. That was.
Hudson, you're one step from the fridge.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
But
That's pretty
I would
bad.
have never called down to the hotel front desk and been like,
Sure.
"Hey, where's the fridge?" So
I like
Yeah.
if they come in and clean your room, they're like, why? What's with this in the sink?
yeah, right.
Well, everybody, we all have our quirks when we go travel and we're not in our home base.
Yeah. How would you feel comfortable asking Isaiah?
I would feel comfortable. I don't know. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable. It depends on how obvious it is. If I really can't figure it out, I would think I would ask.
Yeah.
But if not,
You have
like,
no shame.
I think I'd have no shame because if I can't figure out how to open it, then I feel like nobody can.
Well, you're
I
talking
get this
about
every
the
time.
fridge, though. But I
Yeah.
mean, if you're messaging the Airbnb host like all night,
Oh
then,
yeah.
then that's too much.
If it's like more than one message on me asking something, then I'd start to feel bad, like
Yeah.
I'm bothering them. But if it was just one thing, I was like, hey, I can't. I don't even know how I possibly would not be able to figure out how to open up the fridge.
Right.
So it's hard for me.
There's
to even
only
put
two places to try,
Yeah,
really.
it's really hard for me to put myself in the scenario of not being able to figure it out. But if I did, I guess I would be like, they probably get this all the time if I can't figure it out.
What about the oven though? Like that one, I feel like you could. Would you just be too embarrassed and just go, I guess I don't need an oven.
I don't
or
need
a
to use
stove
it.
or whatever.
It just depends. I guess it's probably safer if they do ask, because then to check to make sure they turned it off.
Yeah, you don't
I
want.
know.
If it was a gas stove,
They'd
you don't
have a
want
problem.
a leak or something. But man, I don't know. It's surprising that it makes me not want to be an Airbnb host.
That's for sure.
don't think I'm this patient.
Because you're not like, if you're an Airbnb host, you're not their travel person.
Right.
No.
Some questions are okay, but it's like if you've ever sold something on Marketplace or Craigslist and they can't figure out how to make it work.
Right.
And it's on them.
Yeah.
Like they just don't know.
I'm not going to come to your house and show you how to turn on the weed whacker.
But they'll message you, like I've had that all the time. They'll message you constantly to try to get it to work. And you're like, well, listen, I sold it to you. I'm not tech support with
It's
it.
like, it doesn't work, okay? Obviously, I sold it to you for such a low price because it doesn't work.
Just catch
I
up,
fleeced
will
you, okay? Move on. I got you. Good.
Hey,
Go.
that's not it. They just didn't understand how to turn the thing on.
$20 you'll never see again. What can I say?
Move along, buddy.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
We have a new invention here, Nikki. I don't know. It just feels like it's going to cause a lot of fights.
Of conflict?
If it was to become a thing.
Well, I mean, maybe this is good if you live on your own for like education purpose to see if you're overusing.
Yeah.
But if you live with someone and it's a topic that's brought up a lot, yes, this might cause more drama surrounding it, but I actually think it's a very clever invention.
So the inventor, this isn't something you can buy, I don't think. It is an invention by someone named Vij Miller. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Vij Miller. What he has created is a toilet paper holder that counts and keeps track of how much toilet paper is being used during each bathroom visit.
Yeah.
It keeps track of how many squares are being rolled off every time. And then not only does it show you on a little display screen on the toilet paper holder, it also uploads your stats, your usage.
That I think is the worst part.
To something called ThingSpeak, where anyone with an internet connection and a browser can monitor the day-to-day toilet paper use. So that's where this inventor has actually his own toilet paper household use uploaded for anybody to see if you want to check out the stats. So I think at first I thought, well, okay, first thoughts. One, this would require people actually putting toilet paper on the roll, and that's already a big enough fight in some households, I think.
That's true.
It doesn't count it if you just keep it on the back of the toilet. So that's a start. But two, if you're the person installing this, you're like, yeah, you know what? I do need to track this down and figure out who's the one that's making us go through it so quickly. Whoever you live with, roommates, your
a frugal dad.
Yeah, anybody, they're gonna hate you for that. They're gonna think you're crazy, and then it's just gonna cause fights once you start confronting people.
Well, they were saying how, with especially this invention, that this kind of goes back the last couple of years where we didn't realize we could run out of toilet paper. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a shock because we just weren't used to that. So now people still, I saw yesterday an article on like people still overbuy certain things. Oh, yeah,
for sure.
And toilet paper is one of the number one things. We all still have extra toilet paper in case anything happens.
Yeah.
So with this creation, I think it's moved on from, just to make fun if someone uses a lot each time to like, we can't because we can't run out.
You mean like trying to minimize your usage so that you can stretch your toilet paper if need be.
So we're not using as much.
That's actually a good point. And I see that like in the comments, some people are saying like, what do you mean excessive wipe? Don't you just wipe till you're clean and use however much toilet paper is needed?
Oh, no.
That wiping till you're clean doesn't just mean like there can be different amounts of toilet paper. In fact, somebody in the comments responded by saying, I can wipe with a few squares, wrap my fist in toilet paper, or use a bed sheet. All would let me wipe until I'm clean. But that doesn't mean it's the best use of the toilet paper. It doesn't mean it's not being wasteful.
Correct.
But see, all of that comes back to you're going to start accusing people of, look, you're the reason we can't stretch our toilet paper unless you're living alone. If you're living alone and you just like to keep track of stats and stuff, that's great. Otherwise, this is just going to be a cause of fights. And there's no way that you can confront somebody else about their toilet paper use. It's just not going to work for you.
Well, the toilet paper counter, again, it's not for sale. It's just this guy's project that he's working on. But on the actual toilet paper roll holder, it shows you the last amount used. Mm-hmm. And currently, like,
you can try to beat your score.
Yeah, like you're trying to see how many squares that you can and cannot use on this.
Gonna set a new record here. 3 squares. That's all I'm using.
Listen, you'd be proud. You got to cut back however you can. Yeah. And then you go online and it'll show you like your whole history with toilet paper.
And nobody needs to see your whole history of toilet paper. That's not something that needs to be tracked. I am the type of person who I think I can stretch toilet paper. You give me, if it was just me, you give me like a 12-pack, who knows how long I can make that last.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Can you see the excitement, Nikki?
You are excited about the Oscars.
It's Oscar nominations day.
Though we covered the Razzies earlier. And I feel like for a lot of us, since you don't even know the Razzie movies,
right? When
you look at the list of Oscar nominations, a lot of the movies you don't even recognize either.
That's true. So this year for the Oscars, they went back to for Best Picture, where they have to have 10 movies that are nominated for Best Picture. And
why so many?
When they did that in the past, it was kind of seen as a way of maybe this will help them get some more blockbuster type movies that wouldn't normally make it into the top 5, which they used to do. I think they did that at first after The Dark Knight was excluded, which was crazy. Obviously, it shouldn't have been whether it was top 5 or top 10, but they wanted to include more blockbuster stuff to make more people interested. And so this year, they've gone back for the first time in a few years to they have to have 10 nominees for Best Picture. And still, it's not necessarily blockbuster type fare. It is stuff that's on streaming services, so you still might have seen it. but it's not like Spider-Man did not make the cut.
Sure.
Some people were rooting for that. If you're looking at the Best Picture nominees, how many of these do you think you'll see, Nikki?
See or have seen none of them. None.
Ooh, so we have Belfast.
But I recognize like maybe 3 or 4.
I'll give you a quick description to see if any of them appeal to you.
Mm-hmm.
Belfast is about about growing up in Ireland back when they had like the war and stuff.
No, thank you.
Coda, that's on Apple TV Plus, I believe. That's a deaf family, but they have a daughter that is not deaf and she can sing or something. She's good at music.
Nope.
No? Don't Look Up. That's the one. You've seen the ending of Don't Look Up.
Oh,
that counts for something.
Okay, I saw the clip of that. No, I don't want to watch the whole thing.
You don't want to watch?
Nope.
That one, I have seen that. I did not like it when it first ended, but it's grown on me a little bit. I still don't want to say I like it, though. Drive My Car. This one might be for you. It's a Japanese movie. Mm-hmm. It is about a theater director who finds that his wife is cheating on him, and then there's some twists and turns because he has to hire a driver, and they wind up making a connection. But it's not what you think. You got to. It's twists and turns. I haven't seen it. But.
I have seen stuff on that.
Yeah,
but I'm going to still say no.
I've heard though it's about 3 hours long.
Oh God!
And the first 2 hours are rough to get through to the last hour, which is what people say is the good part. Dune.
I haven't seen
You're not
it.
going to watch Dune. We all know what Dune is about, and it's deserving. King Richard.
Nope.
That's Will Smith playing Venus and Serena Williams' dad.
Nope.
Licorice Pizza. That one, it's there's not really a story. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. He did There Will Be Blood. Mm-hmm. He does some more intense stuff. This is about growing up in 1970s San Fernando Valley, California.
I saw some stuff on it too because it has some controversy.
Yeah. So. Nightmare Alley. Maybe this one is for you. It's not for everybody. It's the same guy who did The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah.
And he's doing a new Pinocchio movie for Netflix. It's a remake of a 1940s movie. About
the more you tell me about him,
it's about a guy, a con artist who gets a job at a carnival, and so he meets some carnies and stuff like that, and then things go from there, and maybe he winds up getting conned himself.
What a strong Best Picture
and
nomination
it takes place in
list.
1940.
Wow. No, thanks. I passed on that.
The Power of the Dog.
No.
That one you can see Benedict Cumberbatch naked.
Nope.
And
I was going to watch it until
I told you that.
Hudson told me he's naked, and I was like, no.
That one I also have seen, and I just, like, the naked part disregarded. I felt okay about it at first, and the more I've thought about that one, I'm like, I don't think I liked it that much.
Well, what about West Side Story?
And West Side Story is a musical, Steven Spielberg remake of one from some other time. In
Hudson
the past.
doesn't do musicals.
No, but I will do that one. I've heard that is very good, even for a musical.
So the Oscar nominations, the rest are up if you want to see them. But
yeah, if you want to look at the Best Actor and stuff.
The Best Picture ones.
Yeah, the Best Actress and all that. It's there's some surprises if you're paying attention, but. It's giving you some homework if you want to keep up with it, and don't worry, you've got a month and a half, March 27th,
till they come
to
out.
catch up on all these movies you need to watch.
Well, no, thank you.
I'll do it for both of us. I'll report back to you.
I appreciate you doing that.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.